we're going to talk about taking the real life stories and getting them to the actual storybooks.
This is Sarah's idea, and so it's helpful to explain a little bit about what we do and why we do it and how it happens. And really and truly, some of it I don't even understand, but I'll do. It just what happened? Yeah, that's what my granddaughter said. What happened?
She had a whole phase of every time anything. What happened? What happened?
We took a line out of Jemima Joke and just said, okay, we're going to step through this. And how we came up with the word and how we came up with then the rhyme. You make a story out of it. Well, okay, that's good. That's all good. You get that part, and then now you have to think, okay, well, what does this line look like? And that's the interesting part is how to communicate it that across the country to the person who's actually doing the drawings or the illustrations, and so it's fascinating, the first time when you actually see the word turn into an illustration.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it's not what you expect. It's all good. It's all good, but it's not what you expect. And then sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, this
That's
is what
better than not what I thought.
yeah, and this is what I thought it was going to look like. And then there's sometimes you're like, no, we need to work on that a little bit, because that's not quite catching the essence of what I thought it should be. And so that's the problem, I mean, in a way, it's all, what I think, or, what you look at some of the stuff we do. Wife looks at Susan looks at some of the things.
And add in the real life aspects too.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, I mean, like like when the scenes we're currently working on.
That's what I was gonna say. The little chicken.
Yeah.
Well, even like we just had Molly is a chicken we had from the past, and she's grown up and gotten better out of the chicken nursery. But then we have a new chicken that came in our last batch of peeps that we got. That she was. She was having an issue, and so it's like if you leave her with all the other ones, they're just gonna pick on her until she's not there anymore. Yeah. So we brought her up, put her in the little chicken nursery. Well, Eleanor is like, oh, she needs a ball. Yeah. And so she put this golf ball in there with her so she has something to play with. And even you were like, why does she have a golf ball? Yeah. And I'm like, Eleanor said the chicken needed something to play with. Yeah. So then when you got the scenes back, I was like, you need to put a golf ball in there or a ball for the chicken to play with.
Yeah, she has empathy.
Yeah, her heart's too big.
Her heart is too big, literally. Yeah, she has a big heart. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what that's about. And so, we took that word, a single word, and we just stepped through the sketches, and then the sketches come in black and white, but it's a good point of reference and a frame of reference. And then you add color, and, everybody's colors are different. We kind of stick with the same color pattern. Yeah, between books, because we don't.
It's a collection.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a collection, and hopefully people will read them, and hopefully they'll learn from them. I mean, but you never know. I mean, some books are better received than others, and then some books are they're hits. You have your own personal bias built in, and you think, oh,
like, this one's gonna be great.
No one likes it, and then and then sometimes you love it, and everybody else does too. So it's that. It's hard to say, but in the course of seeing the words and the sketches, in between there is the character. Oh, is this a male? Is this a female? Is it a cat? Is it a dog? Is it a chicken? Is it a horse? What is it? What kind of character is it? And then is it static or is it dynamic? Does it start out as a little baby and grow up, or does it start out as a young person?
Or is this just a little piece of their life?
Yeah, or some characters are there, moments, just for a few pages and they're gone.
Yeah.
And so they're static, they don't change a lot, But then sometimes, like with Rosie, she's bouncing back and forth between the future and the past and the present and that kind of thing. And so she's presented in different states of growth and development and whatnot. And then other characters are, they don't change, like Clint, in Snowflake. He's the age he starts out in the beginning is pretty much the age he is a year or so later. He doesn't change a lot, other than spiritually, he changes a lot. But yeah, and so those developing those kind of characters is, it's interesting. And then sometimes, small characters that you think are, just,
Just
uh,
little.
next thing you know, they got their own story.
Yeah.
They got their own book, so that's what's happening with Fig and Zig, the one we're working on now. There's a couple twins in there. Based on I had a manager, he had a couple twins, and he was telling me about a lot of the antics that they get into and the things they do. And I think, oh, that'd be a good story,
Yeah.
So, and the book has an engineering slant to it for the scientific mind out there to kind of understand some of the physical laws that there are. But these two characters, they go on to have another book, Yellow Fellow, which is to help with the pronouncing, yellow
The
and
yellow,
fellow.
mellow fellow.
You just
Hello, yellow fellow.
these characters, they and Jemima, she's in Jemima
Yep.
Jope here, but
This one.
yeah, she's
But then she's about to get another book.
she's in I Am Mim,
Yep.
and Mim is going to be set in Tennessee, and people will love that. I think it's Living Waters.
Living Waters, Tennessee.
Living Waters, Tennessee, Mimsville.
Well,
yeah,
which means she's not done moving.
she's not done moving. But she's
I
older.
didn't think about that. Yeah, because in the beginning of Jemima Jope, she's done moving California.
Yeah, she's done moving.
Wow.
But, some time goes by and there's a call for volunteers, and all the people from Tennessee know that the state's full of volunteers, Tennessee volunteers. And so, so there's inside of the book, there's one of the hidden symbols in there is Coldwater. My uncle had a farm in Coldwater, Tennessee. And so she goes for a refreshing swim in cold water.
Wow.
And she comes out changed, and so, yeah.
And that's why I feel like some of the, it's like every verse, every like little piece of the words, every image has a meaning. I mean, there's sometimes like, a plant over in the corner. But everything else is like, there's a reason for this somewhere, somehow, either biblical or personal.
And the other interesting part of it is we could make these books like this thick.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot happens from one image to the next.
That's what's going on with Grace. I'm over here like, I got it, and it was like 5 pages, and I'm like, can't have it 5 pages. There's too much going on. But it's just, you're trying to teach underneath everything, you're trying to teach a biblical message.
Yeah, and those characters, that you're developing, sometimes it's like a play on words, a follow on, Jemima gets married, and, she has children, and her child grows up and goes to Japan. And that's the next book in the series.
One, yeah.
Yeah, and so one of the characters in that book is a little kid that's just tags along, with the bigger kids and whatnot, and they're trying to always, you never know who this kid is or what this kid is, but eventually they come to the point in the story where they need somebody little to crawl through a hole, and they're like, well, hey kid, who are you? And they're like, Little Faith.
Yeah.
yeah. So the of Little Faith, right? And so that's the kind of the thing there is that sometimes you have a little faith and it can work out to be some big things, and so these kids make a true discovery, a treasure they find, and so so it's that, and so you're always thinking about developing
I've even
characters.
had someone who reads the books tell me, after my kid went to bed, I went and looked back at it because I know there's something going on in these pictures.
Yeah, sometimes it's obvious.
Yeah.
Like I said, and sometimes it's not so obvious. You gotta really think. And that's the other thing too. Don't really want to tell everything because we want
takes all the fun out of it.
We want the reader to kind of sort of form their own opinions.
Oh, and some things are left up to.
Yeah.
It could go this way or this way. There's no.
Well, and Jake and the Snake, does he take the wide path or does he take the narrow path?
Yeah. Or even in Jemima, in the beginning, it opens it up to she's moving on from what? Was there a loss? Did she lose her job? Did she, what was the
thing
made her have to start moving forward?
The problems with, that era of time, and a lot of things didn't work out the way people thought that they should, and so. You know, it was an idealistic time, and you know, I think that she got a little disillusioned. That's my personal opinion, but you know, it could have been anything. She lost her boyfriend, she lost her job, she lost, you know, whatever, some, you know, anything fits the thing.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, so when you're developing these characters, you know, you want to keep it kind of, you know, simple, but at the same time, you want it to be you want the person to have to dig a little, you know, and open up their Bible and look at this verse and see if this verse actually, do you interpret that verse the same way as what's being presented here? And that's the other thing too, folks. Just keep in mind, these are kids' stories. This is not not Sunday school morning, you know, preaching sermon at church or whatever. Go there if you want a sermon. You know, these are just stories about kids and, you know, God and whatnot. And we try to, you know, work to keep it in the, you know,
kid world.
Straight and narrow kid world.
Gotta talk to our quality assurance specialist.
Yeah.
She helps us make sure it's on track.
Well, yeah, she got that one right in JG, which is, it's in design.
Oh, yeah.
In design now. And probably be released pretty soon. And the crying kid, she's like, why is the kid crying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it was sad for her. It was she was like not happy that the kid, he rescues the family from the burning building, and the one girl, I mean, she just was rescued from a burning building. So in real life, you would think, oh, the little girl's crying, but it was so upsetting to Eleanor. She was like, no, this is, why is she sad? This is so sad. So we changed her to just a concerned face.
Yeah, concerned look.
Because we're not trying to make kids sad.
And on the next round of design, when it came out, she looked at it and she's like, oh, this is okay.
This is good.
This is good. Yes, it was
approved by the quality.
Quality. So this is good. It's funny how things work. And you know, that's the thing. You know, you're sitting there and you're working on these characters and whatnot, and you're thinking everything is just fine.
Yeah. And from an adult's point of view,
and probably so.
Seemed fine.
An adult view, everything is hunky-dory, so to speak, right? And so, yeah, I mean, but in reality, it's not, you know, and it's difficult sometimes to put yourself
in a kid position.
Yeah, because you try to put yourself in the character's role. Yeah. You know, and
logically, some things make sense, but it doesn't have to be logic in a kid's story all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, yeah, you know, it's there's probably parts of the stories that could be done better. And there's some of them that probably could have been done a lot worse, you know, but it is what it is. And, you know, there's not many errors in the books, you know. We work to keep it consistent from one scene to the next. If something is there in one scene and it should be there in the next scene, or, you know, something's not, you know, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah. Keeping the little bloopers in the books.
Bloopers. Yeah, the minimum.
A few of them make it to published print, but we try not to.
Well, like in Jemima Joke, you know, we got all the way to basically down to cover design.
Oh, yeah, I know,
And, yeah, there were no handles on the sink to turn the water on.
Oh, no way. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And so we had to go back and go,
put handles on the sink, because how do you turn the sink on?
Yeah, you turn the water on to wash the cat. You know, she's standing there at the sink washing the cat, and there's no handles. Yeah. And we're like, wow, how do you... And so your mind, it's kind of funny how your mind works. It fills in the blanks, and, you know, for all... We must have looked at that page
so many times. It is 7, 3 people looking at it.
And 3 people looking at it, and no one sees anything until...
Because you're looking at the other details.
Yeah, you're looking at all the other stuff. And there were a lot of details associated with Jemima Joke.
Yeah.
I mean, in how the characters come to life presentation, we just take one line out of the poem and step you through, you know, from the beginning to end. This is, you know, and basically it's the cover page here is the line that we took, and you know, and that was one of the things we point out. You know, when you're laying out these illustrations initially, you're looking at them and you're thinking, okay, this would be a good cover. And in this particular case, it worked out.
Well, and sometimes it changes.
But sometimes it has to change, because it's like, no, that's not working for a cover.
Wasn't it like Be Free?
Yeah, bee food.
Forever, it was the first page with the little
With
smoke thing.
Bobby, the beekeeper guy, and everything. But then we said, oh, the one with the flowers and the hummingbird and the key and all that is a much better picture. And the owls up on the making their wisecracks and stuff, you know. That's a better cover. And so, yeah, that's what we used. And so, yeah, and it's like that with all of them. You know, sometimes you pick out the cover page and, man, it's spot on. And then other times, like the one we're doing with Snowflake, we picked the horses for the cover. Well, that wasn't our original choice. But once we saw that illustration, we went,
that's the one.
That's the cover.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that kind of thing, you know. And so even after you...
Even when you have a plan for how it's going to be, it changes when you're going through the process.
Yeah, and so the character development is, you know, in the story itself, but the character also is the book. I mean, the book is a character in you know, in a kind of a interesting way, and developing that, what that looks like is all part of it. So yeah, it's watch the
author insights.
Yeah, because you know you may be sitting out there, you know, thinking, you know,
oh, I want to write
this
a book.
is something I want to do, and you know, like I said, I wrote these things down, you know, the first 2005, yeah, and 20 years ago, wow, you know, and you know, I still toyed with it and finding an illustrator and finding people who could do things, and finding an illustrator is a difficult thing. There's lots of places you can go. You can go, you know, different places and find illustrators, but you know, finding one that you click with, understands you, like with the chicken one, you know, that we're currently doing. This illustrator, I told my publicist, I told her, I said, this illustrator understands farm life.
Yeah.
You know, this person, this team, this group, they relate to what I'm saying because they got the first set of illustrations. I'm sitting there going, very few comments.
Yeah.
You know, back.
It's really not even comments on the illustrations. It's like, oh, we should add this. We should, you know, this would be cool to do too.
Yeah. And I mean, so this book's going on the fast track.
Yeah.
It'll come out quickly. And, you know, so it's that kind of thing where, you know, you think about, you know, finding an illustrator that you can relate to and that kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, when we started doing this, I was still a little bit apprehensive. And
with Jake.
Yeah,
the first one.
The Jake and the Snake. I was still like, man, I don't know if people are going to be receptive to this. You know, because it's, you know, you're opening yourself up to, you know, people seeing your thoughts and in your books and whatnot. And, you know, some of these stories are kind of, you know, corny, if you will. And so, you know, who thinks like that, right? And so, but, you know, I was watching this guy. He's a you know, preacher fellow, and he was talking about, you know, God called you to do something, you got to do it. You should pursue it. And the guy, he was preaching and he was doing it. And he said, I don't know why I stopped to say that, but I thought it was important for somebody. So I was sitting there going, wow, well, it was for me. Because I was being a little apprehensive and I was thinking, I don't know if I need to do this. So all I'm saying is, you know, to you who are out there watching, if you think this is something you should be, there's something
that you like, oh, should I do it or not?
Yeah, and it don't have to be this, but if it's something that you should be doing, that you feel the Spirit's, you know, you should be doing it. It's much more rewarding to do it than it is to not do it. And at least, you know, Abraham Lincoln, I think, said, well, I'd rather fail at something that would ultimately succeed than succeed at something that would ultimately fail.
Yeah.
And so the thing is the only way you'll ever know is you got to go try. So you got to go do something. So, yeah. So that's that. That's how that one works. So I hope you enjoy the view of taking a line through from beginning to end, and I hope this offers a little bit of insight into how we got where we are today.
And as always, like, subscribe, share, follow, and follow us on Facebook because we post daily there.
Yeah, we do.
So
not just book stuff.
Other devotionals and the Saturday study. So
Fun Fridays.
Fun Fridays are good. We get a lot of right now we're not really getting lots of likes, but people are watching it. People are looking at it and commenting and sending us, here's my kid did this puzzle and stuff. So if you're looking for, any of you homeschool moms looking for fun activities to do with your kids, the Facebook page is great for the Monday Readers Corner and Fun Friday. We do little activities with books on Friday. So
yeah, and even for you old folks out there, there's a word search, the puzzle that Sarah puts together for us on different books.
I try to switch them up.
Yeah, I love doing those things. It kind of keeps the mind sharp. Looking backwards and forwards and up and down and across and all that, looking for these different words.
I tried to stop doing the backwards one because I was like, well, if these are for kids, should I be doing them backwards? So the problem is, it's the age range. It's for kids from like 3 to 15 is what the books are. So that's why I try to add in the coloring pages and the more challenging stuff.
Well, so a lot of old folks out there, you know what I'm talking about. You're just big kids, right?
Yeah.
So you're big kids.
We all are. At all ages, not just the old folks, even us.
Kid at heart. So, yeah, I mean, enjoy. And it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's a distraction from whatever else is going on in your life. So,
that too. Yeah. So, like, subscribe, share, follow. We'll see you next time.
All right. Take care.